is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game. Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck athletics.
Ducks are back on the practice field on the gridiron, that is, this afternoon. Following yesterday's practice, we heard from Malik Terry on the offensive line and defensive line coach Tony Tuioti. Those interviews for you today and tomorrow. And talking about practice, Oregon soccer practicing this morning. One more practice before the first Oregon athletics event of the year on Thursday. 6:30 at Pape Field. Oregon soccer opens the season and opens the Tracy Joyner era officially. 2 exhibitions in the books. Now they start to count. Coming up on Thursday and Sunday of this week, Oregon soccer in action. We'll be talking with that sports administrator, Damon Mkerson, coming up on the show today, our senior associate athletic director. He'll be with us next segment. Also, Trent Kirsten, Oregon volleyball head coach, following the green and yellow scrimmage at Matthew Knight Arena on Friday. We have Trent Kirsten with us in the Country Financial Studio coming up today. Reminder, Oregon football stripe out on August 30th. It is so cool to see the pictures of the stripe out every single year. Start getting ready. Even sections wear yellow, odd sections and the student sections wear green. We'll be striping out Autzen Stadium for the opener coming up on August 30th. It's going to be here quick. 18 days. 18 days. We're a couple weeks away. Ducks have one more scrimmage scheduled coming up throughout fall camp. We'll be able to break that down for you a little bit more. And Dan Lanning will meet with the media after practice today. More Oregon football talk coming up. All right, Malik Terry, offensive line coach. Every time we talk with a Duck coach, it's brought to you by our friends at the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Malik Terry, I think he feels right at home with this new look offensive line room, but guys that have a lot of experience, transfers that came into this program with over 100 starts combined. There's a lot of experience and something that Coach Terry finds some value in. Talking offensive line with Malik Terry.
No, he was here in the spring, certainly, but if you can take us into just how much further has Isaiah developed, and also if you could share a little bit in terms of background with him, the week of how all he went from being a 3-star, 1,600-something ranked guy to falling here and being projected as a first-round pick.
I think it was more so just COVID was bad timing when he came out, so he kind of fell under the cracks a little bit, and then it happened to end up at Nevada, and he had a tremendous career there. I mean, obviously, you could see it on film. When he got in the portal, you watch this film, it was like, this dude clearly moves like he's supposed to be on this level. So that's the same question we asked, too. Like, how did he slither through the cracks? But it was more COVID more than anything. But the strides he's made from spring to now, man, like, Isaiah Rowe's going to be special for us. Obviously, the internet hype is internet hype. We call it rat poison. But the way he's attacked his process every single day, he deserves all the praise he's getting because he's just putting the work in. As simple as that, man. Like the skill set that he has is already rare, but the way he's attacked learning our system, the way he's attacked learning our calls, learning the playbook, he deserves everything that's coming for him, and he's a true worker.
What did you learn about Matthew Bedford last year as he's coming back from his injury, and then just the way he was able to kind of reset and attack this year as a healthy contributor for you guys?
I mean, he's one of the most consistent guys I've been around because when he faced hardship last year, it didn't faze him. I'm pretty sure it did, but he didn't show it. I mean, he became such a great leader. There was times he couldn't travel. Didn't matter. Up until the time we left, he was helping the young guys, whatever the install was that week. He was watching film. You never missed his presence and him being gone. So I think that's why it pays dividends because what's happening now, him playing consistent ball, him starting to get back to his ways, I think it pays true dividends to how he can stay committed to that process. Even when the injury happened, he didn't phase. I know it probably hurt him a little bit for real because he wanted to play so bad, but he didn't show it. And I know all our guys in our room are appreciative of it because he's been the same person every single day. Leader, vocal, and bringing it. And I know he's having a fun camp so far.
Pancho earlier this month said he wants to follow along the lines of JPJ of 3 years and the type of success that he had. I guess, what does he have to do this third year in the system to continue to elevate himself and be one of the nation's, if not the nation's, best center?
As cliche as it sounds, just continue to be himself. He's consistent. He's sterile. He's committed to a process. He's a leader on his team. I mean, selfishly, I don't want him to go nowhere, as a selfish coach. But we tell all our guys, man, if it ends up being an opportunity for you that presents itself, you got to do what's best for you. But right now, he just is attacking August right now. Obviously, when you ask the question, he's going to answer. But you can see that he's exactly where his feet are and be exactly where his feet is. And he's been attacking the process. So if it ends up happening as such, he's worked for it. And if it's not the situation, man, he's going to continue to work and be the same one because the leader that he is on a consistent day in and day out basis, I know the Oregon Ducks appreciate it more than anybody.
Coming off of the first fall full scrimmage, what was your analysis of the battle in the trenches, and sort of how does that change the way that you finish fall camp? What's sort of the mindset heading into the rest?
It's never-ending evaluation, right? Trying guys in new spots, trying guys with different mixtures. After the first scrimmage, I think we did some good things, but we always got to go back to the drawing board and continue to see where we lacked so we can continue to improve. We call it going to the doctor around here. So it was good because a lot of guys, this might have been their first experience, true experience as far as young guys getting that going to the doctor and learning from our mistakes. But you learned that we got a physical group and you learned that we have a group that's deep. So the competition is higher than it's ever been. And I think everybody's striving in that mode right now. It's bringing the best out of everybody. So you just continue to evaluate your process, who helps us win the best, and get those guys on the field.
When this group has just more transfers than a year ago compared to returning guys, where is that process in terms of bringing the ones together cohesively and gelling so that after week 2 you're not wearing a shirt with low numbers, you're wearing a shirt with gaudy numbers because of how proud they are as opposed to the struggles of last season?
Yeah. I think more than anything, it's the blessing that they got here early in spring. So you got more than just a fall camp to get together and get that cohesiveness. These guys have been working together now going on almost 6 months, and you can see it now. And I think, once again, that's a credit to Pancho, that's a credit to Charlie. The older guys in our room, they've embodied those guys into our culture. So you can feel that those guys are, you couldn't tell they've only been here for 6 months. They feel like they've been here for about a year, 2 years. So the conversations that happen off the field, the cohesiveness that they build off the field, you can start to see that already building right now. You really couldn't tell those guys were transfers, man. So even with those guys, it's cool to see them lean on the younger guys, help them develop their games. So we're going to have a ton of guys that are going to be able to help us, and those guys them being transfers don't blemish the culture at all. The culture is still the culture, and I'm thankful for that.
Dave talked about his offseason of really getting in shape and changing his body and how that's going to help him now. What have you seen from him, just his development and the offseason that he's had to kind of put him in a position that he's in currently?
Dave fully committed to changing his body, right? A credit to Coach Willie Love, but a credit to him for doing it, right? He committed to that process. And I think for him, he's now committed to the whole thing, not just his body, but learning the system, learning the scheme, because he's already known that he played some good quality ball for us, but knowing the why of everything, right? He's being committed to getting with myself, getting with Coach Cutter, getting with Coach Walt, Coach Dow, Coach Whip, and doing a good job of learning every single detail, right? And obviously the physical part of his game is what makes him special, but now that he's changed his body, it's a little bit more control now. So I think everybody's appreciative of that physicality, but it's coming with some more control and understanding of everything that's going on around him, not just his position.
Yeah, you brought in the transfers that I think have over 100 combined starts across their previous stops, and that's not even including Bedford, who has 30 more starts at Indiana. How has their combined experience and knowledge from all different parts of the country helped out your room so far?
I think that's the best part. I know we have a quote-unquote like young room as far as together, but like you said, they got a ton of football experience. So those guys having those conversations in the cafeteria talking about how they want to handle a 3-tech or how they see this and how they see that, and then putting it in our language, you can see our younger guys being able to benefit from that kind of information. And when it's out there and things are changing on the fly, it may not be the language they know it as initially, but they have that experience going against it. And once we implement our language, whatever the case that may be, you can see it's easy transition for these guys, man. So the amount of football they played, it wasn't just random football, it was good football. So we get to have the benefit of that, having those guys, especially around a guy like Pancho, who's played so much football as well. There's a lot of smart guys up front, man. The Ducks are going to benefit from that.
Harkey might be one of the more direct and blunt guys since Shane was here.
Literally, yeah.
So how does that personality fit the room? And when he's very blunt about his own self-assessment in areas where, as he said, something was trash, how has he progressed to where that's no longer the case?
Yeah, I mean, he's just black and white. He's probably harder on himself than anybody, and I appreciate that of him. But that black and white is a little bit of, I won't say that's his everyday, because in the room, there's not a guy in our room that don't love Hark. Like, everybody loves Hark. But when it comes to, like, walking on the field, like you said, he has that bluntness of Shane, but he also has that game day mentality that I haven't seen, like, since Panay's been here, as far as, like, when it's game day, he turns the switch on. Like, because he plays with a physical mindset in practice, but when it comes game day, he turns that switch on too. So I think that harshness, that bluntness that he has is a little bit him being hard on himself. Because the player he's becoming, man, it's been great progress over the last 6 months. And I think he can feel it because he can feel the confidence. But he's going to be harder on himself than anybody, which I appreciate, because you always want to continue to be your hardest critic every single time.
Zach wasn't here in the spring, and you had an opportunity now to work with him. Just how's it translated from what you saw on film and expected it to be on film here? How's that gone for him?
Zach Attack. Shout out to Coach Charlie Landgraf, man, because he did a great job with Zach, man. Zach's got here, he hit the ground running. We jokingly call it the P&W boys. All our boys up here from the Pacific Northwest, man, he's done a tremendous job. Like, he's powerful, he's strong. He may not look like the biggest smoke, but he has extreme power, great athleticism, man, and he plays a physical brand of football that this place is going to be appreciative for, and obviously being a local guy means more to him than anybody. So it's been great. You would have assumed he's been here since the spring. He's been phenomenal.
When guards are valued in such an odd way at the next level of league, if E-Man's going to put himself in that spot, let's better ask, what makes him unique at that position? What is it about? Is it just sheer length and size that just lends itself? Is it footwork because he's operating in a small space for a man his size? What is it that puts him in that class at the guard spot?
It's a little bit of everything, because, like, he has legit unique strength. Like, he is a powerful human. He has unique length to be an interior guy, so he gets to play long on guys. He has great foot speed, and he has great foot quickness. So I mean that in the sense of he's unique in himself as a guard, because he has traits that most guards may have, like one of the two or two of the three, not all of the three. He presents, literally, when you see him, you can see that he's a strong human, but he plays with the same physical strengths as it looks. He has really good feet and mirrors, the best of the best, but he has length and pass pro that's like, he's never really stressed the majority of the time as long as he trusts his length. So I think right now he's put himself at an optimal position. When people continue to see him, they'll see, like, okay, this is a unique guard. Most guards usually are limited in length, or they're just extremely strong. So for him to have that length and to have that strength, you know, the willpower and the sheer power to be a very good player for us is going to be there.
That's Malik Terry, Oregon offensive line coach, breaking down the trenches. Tony Tuioti also met with the media after practice. We'll have that for you coming up later today and tomorrow here on the show. Speaking, though, of guys on the defensive front and on the offensive front, it just so happens that we get to tell you today about the Lombardi Award. Mateo Uiagalelei and Emmanuel Pregnon are on the Lombardi Award watch list announced today. One guy on the defensive side, one guy on the offensive side. Two guys that might engage with one another in the trenches just a few times during fall camp, up for the Lombardi Award. Pretty cool. Also, cross-country schedule is officially out. It's available on GoDucks.com. The Bill Dellinger Invitational, that's the one you circle on the calendar, October 10th in Springfield, right here across town. The Ducks will be hosting the annual Dellinger Invitational on October 10th. Big Ten Championships are in East Lansing, Michigan this year on October 31st. No word on if anyone will dress up pre or post race that date. Highly doubt it. NCAA West Regional Championships in November, and then the NCAA Championships are November 22nd this year. Ducks cross-country schedule available now on GoDucks.com. Time out, because when we come back, Damon Mkerson is here. We were just discussing, we have a lot to cover. See if we can do it before Coach Kersten runs in from Matthew Knight Arena. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone or just taking a deep, calming breath to ground yourself. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now, don't forget to say you will.
We're back in the Country Financial Studio where Duck Insider is brought to you by our friends at OnPoint Community Credit Union. Senior Associate Athletic Director for Culture and Engagement, Damon Mkerson with us. The triumphant return to the studio. It has been about 3 months since we had you. We took our summer hiatus. Nobody was listening to Duck Insider for 6 weeks. I'm glad to have you back. You've had a slow summer, nothing going on, right?
Nah, not one thing. Not one thing in my life.
Nothing.
Or professionally, just been just out here living.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. So the most important question for those that don't know, I mean, how's the family? How we doing?
Family's good.
How's our sleep schedule?
Sleep schedule is miserable, and it's okay. It's all right because I've just adjusted to sleep an hour at a time. Me and my wife had a newborn, 4 months old.
Congratulations.
Amari. Thank you. So, yeah, man, that guy's a bit much. he's a bit much. It's okay though. It's okay though. I know what my mom feels now. I understand what I brought to her misery.
I get it. Hey, so now dad of 2.
Yeah.
And you know, look, I asked everybody, like, okay, advice, like, what do I need to know? And I'm just here to say that all of it is still surprising.
Yeah, sure.
No matter what anyone told me, there's always something where I'm like, well, that's new every single day. So welcome.
Yeah, no, please. And I'm a very, very, very big believer in giving unsolicited advice. So if anyone has it, please throw it my way. I will not. I welcome it, as I need as much as I can get.
Do we think that it's going to be more like you or more like mom?
You know, if he's lucky, he'll be more like his mother.
See? That's what I always say.
But right now, the energy he is giving, I feel like he's going to be like me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've said many a time that if our boys turn out everything like their mother and nothing like their father, the world will be a better
good.
place.
We're straight ahead. Yeah,
I'm
no
with
problems.
you. Well, congratulations, though.
Thank you.
For real.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I know that the summer then you didn't have, enough going on in your personal life. So just all the professional stuff, too. What'd you do all summer?
Yeah, man. I had a very unique opportunity, actually, in late June to participate in a leadership program with some of our student athletes. Partnership with USC, University of Washington, UCLA. We headed out to D.C. and then to Berlin, Germany, learning about leadership through anti-Semitism, right, at work. So that was very transformational. I thought we connected well with the other student athletes and guest speakers, Holocaust survivors, visiting concentration camps. It was I'm still processing a lot of the things that we saw while out there.
Sure. How'd that come together? I was curious, like the backstory for fans, like a trip like that's so transformational. I know there's a lot of work that goes into planning something like
absolutely.
that.
Well, like we've been saying since we entered this conference, that the Big Ten is much more than just money, right? Much more than just the things that kind of make the headlines. There's the academic and overall student-athlete development experience. So this trip somewhat was a pilot to hopefully pitch to do across the campuses, right, across the membership wide. So USC and their Shoah Foundation do this trip every other year. They invited us because we're, the Pac-12 cousins within the Big Ten. Right. So we had to get relationships. We had student athletes that kind of known theirs already. So the synergy was there. And, working with my counterpart at USC, Dr. J, she was just adamant about, the type of program that we're doing here at Oregon that's very similar to the work that they're doing.
That's amazing. I can only imagine, too, for a student athlete. I mean, we talk about, right, like the entire student athlete experience, well beyond what happens on the field. I mean, to put it mildly, that's a huge part of what you're engaging in with student athletes. What was the feedback from student athletes on something like this?
It's one thing to read. They study. You hear about this in school, right, in their secondary education or even in college. But experiential learning is is so much more impactful. I think, reading about the Holocaust and then hearing from a person, right, a survivor, right, talking about that lived experience and, the aspects of fear or the aspects of just, discontent for simply an identity really. I can't really pinpoint why that resonates or sticks more, but it does. And I think the students, as leaders on their campuses and in their lives, really took away, how they can kind of, approach the things they do, whether it be with their teammates or generally their community. And they loved it. They loved it. They asked me, how can we continue to do it? What are some things we can do here in Eugene? And I'm currently on my list of things to do now is working up experiences that we can kind of do here in Oregon.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I can say, like, I feel that the experiential learning is so valuable. Like, to put just the example of, like, what we do, like Scott and I every day, right? Like, there's nothing like sitting down and hosting a show, doing a broadcast, right?
Sure.
That's a lot different than just go watch a show and you'll be able to figure
Let's
it
talk
out.
theory. Let's talk communication theory.
Exactly.
About it, right? And broadcast theory,
Yeah,
right?
you get it,
Yeah.
right? I mean, now I was curious too, like, because you were a student athlete, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've gone through the same, although be it different now, because I think we can certainly say that college athletics is a lot different now than it was.
Tremendously, yeah.
Tremendously.
Yeah.
How has that, I guess, your experience even helped inform that aspect of what's going on with student athletes today? Like, you're engaging with them on so many different things, so many different levels, because it is a whole new ball game, literally and figuratively, right?
Yeah. I feel a little like J. Cole in that song "Middle Child," right? Because a part of me, even when I was in school, my experience was vastly different than those prior to me, right? As these student athletes, so I feel like I can bridge and keep things grounded. For example, I wasn't able, because of how the schedules were, to take an abroad trip as a football student athlete.
Right.
So even having like my hands around a project like this to get some of our student athletes, we had a baseball player and a women's acrobatics tumbling athlete on the trip. I just feel like I can kind of like, yes, rev share is happening. Yes, NIL. Yes, all these things that are like financially important, but you're still at a university.
Right.
You're still in an academic institution. You're still connected to these vastly different experiences that just because you get money and you can maybe pay for it aren't going to feel the same doing that as on your own dollar, planning yourself versus you have a guide, a person that really understands it. It's really keeping them grounded while understanding they should advocate for themselves, but not miss the great opportunity that these amazing institutions offer their students.
Makes sense. Damon Mkerson, our guest. Now, I wanted to ask you too, just about all the various programs, because that's something, Damon, that I often feel like, there's a lot of fans that tune in, and we talk about Be Oregon, we talk about O Heroes, we talk about the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, amongst others, and that's something that I wanted to ask you. Like, there's so many different avenues for a student athlete to go. So pretend I'm freshman student athlete. Like, what's the conversation like? Like, how do you figure out what a student athlete wants to engage in with all the various opportunities that are in front of them?
Yeah, so Katie Harbour, our Associate Athletic Director for Student Athlete Development, does a great job meeting with the students, getting an interest form, right? So that interest form is like, hey, before we shove all this down your throat, let me figure out what you actually like, and then kind of guide you and kind of create like a menu of items that can, get you involved, right? At the end of the day, we just want additional involvement outside of the sport. Your athlete identity is going to take up so much space, regardless of if we push it on you or not. So what we try to do is be intentional in, putting out in front what are the other ways of development. So first and foremost, that starts with student athlete development and our student athlete advisory committee, right? So that's a leadership opportunity, but it's also available to the general student-athlete public. And then within there are the subcommittees. You mentioned Old Heroes, Be Oregon is one, our Women of Oregon, student-athlete unification, so on and so forth. All these opportunities, whether it's planning events, service, or just education, right? And I think for me with Be Oregon, from each team standpoint, it's an opportunity to really explore, like, what is your authentic self? How do you express your authentic self, and what does that look like outside of sport?
Well, I think that's a great point that you bring up too, with like, there's so much, you know, and you can decide how it goes. Because that's why I asked you this. So we talked to Katie. I should give you a little more context. We had Katie on in the spring.
Yeah.
And this is something I was talking to her about, right? And so, Katie goes through so many different avenues to decide, even if it's like the example I give you be like an internship program, right? And that's the part that I'm glad that we could talk about this a little bit today, because as everything changes around college athletics, that's still part of the core of it.
Yeah. I mean, and it has to be, because again, sports end, and even if you make money now, right? Like for some, this might be the most they make in their sport and profession. So they still need to have that process of understanding, like, how to continue to make that money grow and or figure out what it is they want to do next, right? And that process, we can't stop that in the middle of this while they're playing. We need it to be continuous throughout.
Well, and even to that point, like to put it a little bit bluntly, we had this conversation in the spring as well. Like, athletes are one of the very few in the world whose income is highest when they're younger.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of us, right? Income, you hope, grows as you get older, and it's the inverse for athletes. Even just little stuff like, and that's a big thing. I say little stuff, but a big topic like that.
Yeah,
that's kind of what we're talking about.
Absolutely,
makes sense. Okay, timeout. When we come back, we are going to talk about all of those different programs. And I'm sure that Damon has a few other things that we'll get to as well. You always do.
A little trick up the sleeve here and there.
Every now and then. Damon Mkerson, our guest. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by your local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs is probably the best you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack, joined by Damon Mkerson, Senior Associate Athletic Director for Culture and Engagement. We've been talking about a lot of that engaging part with student athletes, the various trips and programs. And, now it just zoom out for us, Damon. Like, you have all these different programs. Give fans some of the highlights. Like, what should we anticipate here over the next month or so?
Yeah. So one, we do some engagement with staff too. So we got some professional development stuff. That takes up quite a bit of my time. Leadership Academy, and some other things I can't reveal just yet, but a lot of cool opportunities to make sure we're giving our staff the tools to be successful. When it comes to student athletes, we actually just got back from Selma, Alabama. Again, another opportunity the Big Ten provides. We had Tasha from our Duck Athletic Fund, Jay Harris and Kendall Clark. Jay Harris from football, Kendall Clark from beach volleyball attend 3-day experiential trip, learning about civic engagement and voting. Awesome, amazing thing that Big Ten does. And I'll say we got some more coming up. We got some more interesting things coming up in the springtime. And then a few B Oregon games this fall with some of our teams, which should have some interesting educational components.
Well, to that point too, I'm glad you brought up the B Oregon games because something that I know a lot of people have asked for. Is how they can get a B Oregon hat.
Yeah.
I'm happy to report that the Duck Store now has B Oregon hats. And I just have to wonder how much one Damon Mkerson had to do with that retail opportunity.
I mean, listen, man, I can't reveal my sources. You know what I mean? The streets are talking. Can't have everybody knowing what I'm doing, but I had nothing to do with that, man. That's nothing. They do it. That's all up, man. I just begged them, please, put it in the stores. No, we're really excited, man. They have some lanyards, some other items, and of course the hats, which is one the fans probably asked about the most at our basketball games when we had them. They were just in love with it, the story. So TBD as more stuff keeps coming out. But, yeah, go to the Duck Store and get you a hat.
Yeah, I thought it was cool to see them in the Duck Store. Because I know it has been something I hear in the comments hey, where can I get one of those? It comes up a lot. So I'm with you. Well, what do we miss? I mean, what else do fans need to know? What else is on your agenda these days?
Man, just one, soccer. I'm the sports supervisor for soccer, so soccer season, is upon us. First official match on Thursday. Come out 6:30 p.m. Weber State, and come see the one and the only Tracy Joyner in action.
Is the one and the only. Can confirm.
Yeah.
Coach Joyner will be with us every Wednesday on Duck Insider with the way that the schedule is worked out. So. We've got a good season preview already behind us. Now it's a match preview. What's that been like, just getting to know him? Tell fans a little bit about the staff as you've worked with them.
Oh, man, just energy, full of energy, full of vibes. Vibes is the word. They might try to trademark it because it's overly used in that office, in that space. But, Chris worked with Tracy at UC Davis, and then, we picked Kat up. Got Kat hot off recruitment.
Yeah, that's right.
And then she brings another little energy to herself. She's really, really good with the students, really good in engaging. And what I love about Tracy is, not just only as a former soccer elite player herself, but really just, investing in education and development. I'm sure she's talked about how much she's put into learning her craft, only ever being a head coach at every stop she's been. She's really taken the time to invest in her own professional development, and it shows up at those practices. When you come to the games, you'll see her energy, you'll see her expertise, and you'll see our athletes really, showing a difference in how we play this season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll hear a lot more from Oregon soccer coming up with that first match on Thursday at 6:30. Okay, hard-hitting question for you before you go. Coming from the comment section, what about B Oregon shirts?
Oh, man. Put me on this play. B Oregon shirts. Woo! You know what, man? Listen, we working on it. We got the old brand still, but no, we're working on it. My hope is to have it relatively soon. Not going to give you a date, because if I give you a date, I'm gonna get that comment back, and I'm gonna have to answer for it. So no, we're working hard. There's a lot with clothes. There's a lot that goes into clothes that I'm not the one to even speak on, but soon.
But that's the hard hitting question for you of the day.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And if that's the hardest hitting question that you get today, pretty good interview.
Life is good, man. Life is good.
Yeah. Damon Mkerson, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
appreciate you taking the time.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for being here.
Yes, sir.
And no word yet. I did get a couple questions about this because I just said you were going to be on the show. And I got an email from somebody that said, well, what about Damon Mkerson and friends?
Oh, okay.
So the request has been made.
Is it. Yeah, they're not on campus yet.
Base.
They're not on campus yet. Otherwise, I would have got them. I got them next time.
So usually you have a full crew with you.
Yeah. I'll take requests too. If people have requests of what sports, I'll take a request and I'll bring them on with me. Okay. Otherwise, it'll be a surprise.
Requests coming soon. Yeah. Damon Mkerson, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your time. When we come back, Trent Kirsten, Oregon volleyball head coach. He poked his head in. We're going to have to see if he is still there when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack. He is Trent Kirsten, Oregon volleyball head coach, back with us. Hey, thanks for coming over. What's the schedule? What's going on these days, huh?
Yeah, we probably just had our best training session of the year so far today. So, huge day for us in the gym this morning, and we're actually taking the team on a retreat. We're headed over to Sun River, going to go get a couple days off the court, spend some time together, do some team bonding stuff.
How valuable is that? I mean, I know every team it's valuable, but that's got to be cool for a bunch of new faces to get a chance to do this.
Yeah, I think it's super valuable. Number one, for just rest and recovery, right? Because they've been working really, really hard for the past about 11, 12 days. And so to get 2 days off the court and get to go hang out, go do a bunch of different things in Sun River, and just spend some time together off the court.
What's on the list? I mean, what are the activities? What's the schedule here?
Oh, well, gosh. This has been top secret. We haven't told them yet.
Okay,
so
never mind. I did not ask the question. If there are surprises in store, then I don't know. I don't want. This cannot be how you reveal it. So it sounds like though it's fun things.
Fun things.
Good.
Fun things.
Fun things. Have you been before?
Yeah, my folks actually retired just outside of Sun River.
Okay, so you're an expert then.
I wouldn't say I'm an expert. Like I've gone up there to visit them, gone fishing a couple spots up there.
Okay.
We took my kids to the pool. You know, the shark aquatic thing.
Yeah. Scott's familiar.
Yeah.
Scott is my resident Sun River expert because he and his family go every year.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to a good place. That'll be fun. Okay, so team, you'll find out later. At some point. Green and yellow scrimmage, though, Coach. Just how was that? Take us through it. What'd you take away from Friday's exhibition?
Yeah, super exciting. I mean, first off, our crowd, to come to, an exhibition where we're playing ourselves, a scrimmage, and to have that many people show up for us, I thought was special, And I remember walking into our chalk talk with our season ticket holders before the match, and they had to pull out more chairs.
Good.
And I just am so grateful for everyone that showed up. and had questions coming into it, and were super supportive of our team. You know, I told them from the beginning in that chalk talk, hey, like, this isn't perfect right now. Like, we're working through some things, and they saw a bunch of missed serves and some things like that maybe aren't super appeasing to watch all the time, you know, but like, we're gonna have to serve tough in the Big Ten,
right?
You know, and so if I tell them like, hey, hold back right now, like, that's probably not the long-term strategy we want to have.
Sure. Well, I remember you said when we were talking last week that you wanted to see more aggressiveness, and you saw that then on Friday. See, I call that good coaching.
Yeah, 100%. I think Dan had this quote actually about our creative team the other day, and I thought it was great. He's like, you know, complimenting our creative team here at Oregon, and he's like, I would rather have to tell people, whoa, not go. You know, and that's kind of the mindset we want to have from the service line, is like, we want their default to be go get it and be aggressive from back there.
Right. So I was curious how you would like structure rotation. And I know you had some student athletes that flip-flop sides. Like, have you started to settle on like, okay, this is who's going to be where, this is what our rotation's going to be? Are you starting to have that come together for your team?
A little bit. Like, we're getting a little bit more insight, you know, as we've gone through. You know, you saw Val play on the left and the right, you know, and so she's got some flexibility there, and she actually passed really well in that scrimmage, and so that was exciting. We had bros playing different roles. We had them, you know, in a full-time libero where it was just them. We had them, you know, a serve-receive bro and then a defensive bro, just kind of flip-flopping there. And then you had kind of your traditional opposite in Alana, who I thought had some really great flashes, and Eva and Holly both have improved so much since getting here, and so you know, and Lauren Page played great. Gosh, she's still got it. You know, that was super exciting to see her ball out a little bit in front of the crowd again.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I thought it was really cool. So for those who weren't in attendance, one of the things that you had the full coaching staff do is talk to the crowd. Yeah. And I loved Coach Page now, but Lauren, I love that she goes, "Hey, I'm Lauren," and everyone just starts cheering, you know, like that fans, I thought was cool to see. That had to be a cool moment for her.
100%. And we may have given her some flack for being so well liked in the locker room, because the crowd just was going crazy for her, and Maya as well. And Maya played great. And so I thought there were some really special moments interacting with their crowd. I think in the last set we did some fun things after 20 and got people going, and that was a blast. Yeah.
I thought it was great. Okay, now I have to tell everybody. So I brought the family to volleyball, and I mean, look at that green and yellow scrimmage. You just get yourself a unique Oregon volleyball, kid-sized Oregon volleyball, and my son caught one. So you've got my son hooked, that's for sure. Yeah. My near 3-year-old was thrilled, and also look at how high quality that is for a giveaway volleyball, huh? I mean, Coach, you pulled out all the stops here.
Yeah. Well, we want our community to show up for us, and so you got a shot to catch a starter ball in every match, and I think that's just a cool thing. And I think we'll try and get better at throwing those out there. We had a couple near misses.
Look, that's part of the fun, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say that Sophia Myers, you have a big time fan now in my son, because Sophia clocked my son, threw it right to him.
Just such a senior move.
Such a senior move. I mean, and you have, you know, many of those, right, on your roster that have been through this at different levels. Like, what's that experience been like as it's continued to mesh for your team so far?
Yeah, I think one thing you can teach is perspective, right, for those people that are older, that have been around a little bit. And so when we talk about, hey, like, what are some of the things you remember, they think about, I remember being the 3-year-old, the 6-year-old, the 7-year-old coming to these games, especially for Cam, right? Like, Cam has been at every volleyball game probably for the past 10 years. You know, and now she's getting to live this dream and be on the court in front of all those kids.
That's
cool. How awesome is that?
That's cool.
And so, you know, part of our why needs to be playing for, you know, our 6-year-old, 7-year-old self that just started falling in love with the game.
Right. I'm glad that you brought up to the crowd and what that was like, because, you know, we said last week, like, it is a little different when there's people watching.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and I got to tell you, I thought it was cool hearing from Cora Taylor, one of the setters on the squad, post-match. She was talking about, like, hey, this was cool to play in this environment, you know? Like, there's that perspective you're talking about, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we have really tried to mix in a bunch of practices in the arena, and so that's been really awesome for us to get to play in there every day. But when the lights are on, when we have a crowd, and there's something at stake because you want to win, like even though it's the green and yellow, like we want to win. And I thought we had some really great performances through that.
Talking volleyball with Trent Kirsten, one thing that I was curious about too, like playing on the Terraflex is a little different, isn't it?
Yeah.
How does it change when you go from hardwood to that type of surface?
It's just the most elite surface to play volleyball on, and we're lucky that, our administration invested in this for us, right? And we're going to get to train on it for a couple weeks here while basketballs are off. And so that'll be really exciting for us. But this is the elite surface in volleyball. This is what the Olympics are played on. It feels great to dive on. It's a little bit different than the wood surface, and getting banged up and bruised, it has a little give, but you can still jump really well on it. And so it's just a dream to get to play on this surface.
I thought it was cool to even just hear about that last year and now heading into this year. Like you got to practice on it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's valuable. Trent Kirsten with us. All right, I heard you mention afterwards that you're still kind of in the install phase. So where are you at with that? Like how do you feel that it's starting to come together as you install everything you want to get in for your team?
Yeah, as far as like defensive schemes, I think we're about halfway. I think we have a pretty good grasp on about half the schemes that we want to be able to flip into on any given point. Offensively, I think, we've got kind of our base level, like this is kind of our default offense, and now we're starting to sprinkle in, some wrinkles that we want to be able to get to. And maybe that doesn't happen until conference play. I don't know when we're going to be ready for that, because there's also a base level of strength and understanding of those systems that we need to be able to do every single day before we put them on in front of people, because that's a stressful environment. Like we need to have a great understanding of what those systems are and what our choices and options available are for those.
So retreat coming up. Then you have a tune-up, I'll call it that, against Oregon State. We still got some time left, but I know the season's fast approaching, isn't it?
Yeah. We're getting excited. I think it's been nice because we, volleyball got a waiver to start a little bit earlier this year, which has been just so great for our team, especially with so many new people. And so it has also let us not feel like we have to crush our team with double days right away, where we have maybe a ball control session in the morning and then a bigger team session, in the evening. And that's been great for our bodies, and taking the appropriate amount of off days and all of those things has been, just a blessing for our team and where we're at right now.
I mean, every coach wants to have more practice time, right?
Yeah.
So is this going to be a thing moving forward? Is it a one-year thing? What do we think?
It's been a one-year thing. I think it's got some traction, though, to make some permanent changes. So hopefully it is, because it does give us a nice runway and just the ability to train. Because normally our team just has access to the gym, but they don't have access to coaches during the summer, right? And so we got to start a week earlier this year, which has just been a really great thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine the longer runway. You mentioned it is load management at some point.
Totally.
Cool.
Totally.
Well, thanks again for taking the time. Travel safe.
Thank you.
I hope that there's lots of fun things on the agenda. It sounds like there is, and we'll catch up with you next week, huh?
Awesome.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Trent Kirsten, Oregon Volleyball head coach. Fun days ahead. And then Oregon State matchup. We'll talk about that next week. Quick timeout. When we come back, back to football here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. So, Coach Kersten on his way out, he's like, okay, I'm going to need some recs for Sun River. And I'm not kidding you when I say that one Scott Phillips might be able to name everywhere to go in Sun River. That's been an annual destination. Like, Scott, what are you doing this summer? Oh, I'm going to Sun River. Oh. Are you going to come back? Maybe. Okay, so we just might not have a show. I never know. Like whenever he goes to Sun River, I just assume that I will walk in on Monday and the door will be locked and Scott won't be here. That'd be awesome. There's always that fear that every broadcaster has where like something goes catastrophically wrong, and for me that would be it. That would be the moment where I'd go, okay, that's what we're going to do today. Fortunately, Scott's never done that, which is nice. So to unpack, though, the green and yellow scrimmage just a step further, and I appreciate Coach Kirsten taking the time, especially on a day they're traveling. I mean, that was really awesome for me to walk into Matthew Knight Arena, and I came over from football practice, so I got there maybe 5 minutes before the national anthem, right? And the arena staff had sections 101 through 105 sectioned off, saying, all right, everybody sit here. And I'm telling you, out to the wings, it was full. Like, my sons, my wife and I were sitting kind of on the side, which I think is why Sophia found us, because, we were kind of by ourselves on an island, which I would say is good placement by my son to try to get himself a ball, and he got one. And I was just really excited to see that many people for an exhibition sitting there. And it was cool to hear, if you missed it on the show yesterday, Cora Taylor, a Butler transfer, said that she had never played in front of more than like 150 to 200 people transferring in from Butler. And here it was a scrimmage between a green team, a yellow team, a little bit of flip-flopping every now and then. Lauren Page gets to play for the yellow team and did well, which was fun. And I could just see it in Cora Taylor's eyes. I could see it hear it in her voice even. Just that means something. So fans that came out, I want to echo what Coach Kirsten said. That was cool, and that makes a difference for a team that is still trying to figure out the community that is around Oregon volleyball, trying to figure out the community that is around everywhere in this athletic department, and that's cool to see. That was really cool to see that. On that note, community needs to show up on August 30th for a stripe out. Even sections. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. Even sections wear yellow. Odd sections and the students wear green. Students wear green. Students wear green. Okay. Was I clear enough? Students wear green. Yeah. Green. Odd sections. Even yellow sections. The pictures that we get from this game are the types that go on posters and are the types that we end up keeping for a really long time around the athletic department. Stripe out on the 30th of this month. We're 18 days away from the start of Oregon football season. Okay, if you missed it earlier, Mateo Uyunglele and Emmanuel Pregnon are on the Lombardi Award watch list. I will say this again, that this is two guys that have done a lot in the community and are probably going to do a lot on the football field. For Emmanuel Pregnon, it's a guy who brings a ton of starts to the offensive line. One of those aforementioned transfers that has a lot of experience, albeit not in an Oregon uniform. The offensive line has about 130 starts not at Oregon. How that meshes on the offensive line, that's something that Alik Terry's working on as we speak. I mentioned earlier, too, that Tony Tuioti met with the media after practice. Won't have enough time on today's show to get to Coach Tuioti, so we'll talk defensive line on tomorrow's edition of Duck Insider. Head coach Dan Lanning will also be talking with the media after practice today. We have a cross-country schedule. Ducks cross country officially begins on August 29th. The Mizzou opener for the men in Columbia and the UVU Invitational in Orem, Utah for the women. September 26th, the Cowboy Jamboree for the men and the Gans Creek Classic for the women. There will be splitting those first 2 weekends, the men and the women on the cross-country teams. And then the Dellinger Invitational. Circle your calendars for October 10th, the Dellinger Invitational across town in Springfield, 11:15 a.m. Pacific time, 11:15 local time. That's when the Dellinger Invitational will get underway. The Big Ten championships are set for October 31st in East Lansing, Michigan. And then November 14th, the NCAA West Regional Championships in Sacramento. NCAA Cross Country Championships in Columbia, Missouri, scheduled for November 22nd. Ducks Cross Country schedule is out. Details on GoDucks.com. Again, October 10th, the Dellinger Invitational here in town. Circle your calendar for what is annually one of the best events around the University of Oregon. Next up, Oregon soccer season starts on Thursday. I look over, and who do I see but Oregon soccer head coach Tracy Joyner. She's actually going to sit down with us this afternoon. We will air our interview with Coach Joyner for you on the show tomorrow. Every Wednesday, it's soccer day on Duck Insider. That's it. See you tomorrow, everybody.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide